This conversation is powered by Google Illuminate. Check out Illuminate at google.com for more. Today's discussion delves into the intricacies of international commercial law, specifically focusing on the United Nations Convention on International Bills of Exchange and International Promissory Notes. It's a complex area, but crucial for global trade.
Indeed. This convention aims to standardize the rules governing these essential financial instruments, fostering predictability and efficiency in international transactions.
The convention's impact on global commerce is undeniable, but what are the key elements that make it so significant?
Primarily, it addresses the form and interpretation of these instruments, ensuring clarity and reducing ambiguity across different legal systems.
And what about the transfer of these instruments? How does the convention regulate that process?
The convention clearly defines what constitutes an international bill of exchange and an international promissory note, emphasizing the need for specific wording and the involvement of different states. It also explicitly excludes checks from its scope.
So the inclusion of specific phrases like International Bill of Exchange, UNCITRAL Convention, is not just a formality, but a legal requirement for the convention to apply?
Precisely. These phrases act as a trigger, indicating the instrument's adherence to the convention's rules. Without them, national laws would govern.
The convention also stresses the importance of international character and uniformity in its application. How does this principle play out in practice?
It guides the interpretation of ambiguous clauses, prioritizing consistency across jurisdictions and upholding good faith in international dealings. This is crucial for preventing disputes.
Article 4, for example, emphasizes good faith. Can you elaborate on its significance in this context?
Absolutely. Good faith acts as a guiding principle, influencing how parties interact and interpret the terms of the instrument. It promotes fair dealing and trust, essential for smooth international transactions.
Let's move on to the formal requirements. The convention provides detailed rules on how the sum payable should be expressed, addressing potential discrepancies between words and figures.
Yes, Article 7 and 8 meticulously address this, prioritizing the wording over figures in case of conflict. It also clarifies the treatment of interest, specifying that a rate must be stated for it to be legally binding.
And what about the payment terms? How does the convention define payable on demand versus payable at a definite time?
Article 9 distinguishes between these two scenarios, outlining the specific wording required for each and defining the implications for maturity dates. This clarity is vital for avoiding disputes over payment timing.
The convention also details the rules for transferring instruments, distinguishing between transfer by endorsement and delivery and mere delivery.
Article 13 outlines these methods, while Article 14 specifies the requirements for a valid endorsement, including its written form and signature. The distinction between blank and special endorsements is also crucial.
What about the concept of a holder and a protected holder? How do these concepts affect the rights and liabilities of parties involved?
A holder simply possesses the instrument according to the convention's rules. A protected holder, however, enjoys enhanced protection against certain defenses. This distinction is central to the convention's framework. The convention carefully outlines the rights of holders and protected holders, differentiating the defenses available against each. A protected holder enjoys stronger legal standing.
So a protected holder is essentially shielded from certain defenses that could be raised against a regular holder?
Exactly. Articles 28 and 29 define the conditions for protected holder status, emphasizing the holder's lack of knowledge of certain defenses or claims. This provides a significant level of security.
And what about the liabilities of the various parties involved? The drawer, maker, acceptor, endorser, and guarantor.
The convention meticulously outlines the liabilities of each party, clarifying their respective obligations and the conditions under which they are discharged from liability. This is crucial for establishing clear lines of responsibility.
The convention also addresses the procedures for presentment, for acceptance and payment, as well as the consequences of dishonor.
Articles 49-68 detail the rules for presentment, emphasizing the timing and methods required for valid presentment. It also outlines the procedures for protest in case of dishonor.
The concept of protest seems important. Could you explain its role in the recourse process?
Protest is a formal declaration of dishonor, a crucial step in establishing the right of recourse against prior parties in case of non-acceptance or non-payment. It serves as evidence of dishonor.
The convention also specifies the amount payable in case of dishonor, including interest and expenses.
Article 70 details the recoverable amounts, including interest, expenses, and potential damages for exchange rate fluctuations. It also addresses partial payments and their implications.
And how does the convention define the discharge of liability for the various parties?
Article 72 outlines the conditions under which parties are discharged from liability, primarily through payment to the holder or a subsequent party who has already paid. It also addresses situations involving partial payments and lost instruments.
The convention also addresses the complex issue of lost or stolen instruments. How does it protect the rights of the rightful owner?
Articles 78-83 provide a framework for dealing with lost instruments, allowing the rightful owner to claim payment even without physical possession, subject to certain conditions and the provision of security.
So even if someone loses their bill of exchange, they're not necessarily out of luck?
Not necessarily. The convention provides a mechanism for recovering payment, but it requires the claimant to prove their ownership and potentially provide security to protect the payer from double payment.
Finally, the convention establishes time limits for exercising rights of action.
Article 84 sets out specific time limits for different parties and scenarios, ranging from 4 years for certain actions to 1 year for others. This is crucial for legal certainty.
These time limits are crucial for preventing stale claims and ensuring legal certainty in international transactions.
Precisely. They provide a clear framework for determining when rights of action expire, preventing indefinite liability.
The convention concludes with provisions on its entry into force, denunciation, and the role of the United Nations Secretary General as the depositary.
Articles 85-90 cover these procedural aspects, outlining the process for ratification, accession, and denunciation. It also addresses the application of the convention in states with multiple legal systems.
The convention's provisions on territorial application are particularly important for states with diverse legal systems.
Absolutely. It allows states to declare which territorial units the convention applies to, ensuring flexibility and accommodating internal legal variations.
The convention also addresses the possibility of reservations and declarations by signatory states.
Article 88 permits only limited reservations, primarily concerning the application of the convention based on the location of the places indicated in the instrument. This limits the potential for undermining the convention's uniformity.
This restriction on reservations helps maintain the convention's intended uniformity and predictability.
Exactly. It prevents states from significantly altering the core principles of the convention through extensive reservations. In essence, the UN Convention on International Bills of Exchange and International Promissory Notes provides a comprehensive and standardized framework for governing these crucial instruments in international commerce, promoting efficiency, predictability, and fairness.
That was a great discussion. Thank you for your insights.